team named to the Big Ten All-Conference team, and for the second year in a row, the Badgers' Sarah Franklin named Big Ten Player of the Year. NFL, the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. Lucas Van Ness before boarding the team flight on what to expect from the Lions and the Packers.
We know it's going to be a physical brand of football. I think over there in Detroit and here in Green Bay, we're both two football teams that want to come out and play a physical brand of football and kind of just dominate.
A high in the mid-20s. Warmer for the weekend and a partly sunny sky. High in the upper 30s for Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. Currently, it's 26.
Oh, hello, Michael. Santa here. I need special gift ideas for my list this year. Any suggestions?
Hey, Santa, how about a Simple Life Hospitality gift certificate? It's the perfect present, flexible, thoughtful, and truly unique.
No, there's something different.
Our gift certificates are perfect for birthdays, holidays, or just because, with multiple amounts to fit any budget. Share the joy of this season. Give a Simple Life Hospitality gift certificate. Visit simpleliferentals.com.
Ho, thank you, Michael.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time. We'll be live at WRCE in Richland Center, an entire hour of the Ewing brothers, Brady and Brandon, sports, life, outdoors, and more. And Peter.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who likes to talk trash, but only when he's at the dump, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Nightlight with Pete Schwaba this Thursday night. As we broadcast live from downtown Green Bay. What is going on with my voice? Conrad, I've got something happening here.
Okay.
Take over. I got to go home.
Welcome to Nightlight.
Oh, God, is that how I sound? Welcome to the show, folks. Wherever you're joining us from in the beautiful state of Wisconsin, it's great because we are broadcasting statewide from downtown Green Bay here at City Deck Landing on a very wintry night here in Wisconsin. Very getting into the Christmas spirit. There's no snow on the ground here. And I had to do our 1-year anniversary show yesterday from the confines of my home office because there was so much snow on the ground. I bet we got 5 inches, but it was like we got some and then it tapered off. I shoveled. I went in to work on the show. I opened my curtain and it was white out. So that stayed. We have snow now in northeast Wisconsin, in Marinette. And we got a couple days in the 40s next week. I hope it melts. I do not want that stuff around. It's troubling. But anyway, it all worked out, and last night's show was really fun. Did you think it came off okay, Conrad? It was a success, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
We got a lot of love from our colleagues at Civic Media, a lot of friends on social media. Thank you all for tuning in yesterday, for however long you listened, or even if you didn't listen and sent well wishes anyway. It is much, much appreciated, as are your likes and follows on social media. So thank you for supporting Nightlight. We start year 2 tonight, and we've got a great show to do that. We've got a couple of our staples here. It is Thursday night, so that means it's our popcorn pick of the week. We will do that at 6:35 with Faith Flynn from Caribou Coffee. She will make the popcorn pick of the week and talk to us a little bit about coffee. Do you have you tried the Caribou Coffee?
I love Caribou Coffee.
Me too. And you know what? I'm not like one of those people. I'll only eat something or drink something if it's from Wisconsin, but I think it's from Minnesota. I think that's where their headquarters is.
Oh, yeah.
But it's dynamite.
It's
It's
so
great
good.
coffee.
So good.
I was excited when I found out that Faith was coming on the show and where she works. So we'll talk about coffee. She'll make a popcorn pick of the week. And then at 7:05, our pal Logan Rogie from Travel, Wisconsin will drop by and tell us some really cool things going on in our state over the next few weeks as we get closer to Christmas. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Christmas, Wisconsin is like, to me, it's like the summer state. When I was a kid, I used to come up here to vacation, and it just always resonated with me. I just thought of Wisconsin when I thought of summer, which is fantastic. I also equate Wisconsin with Christmas. We have such a great Christmas state because we get some snow, the weather gets cold, which is fine for Christmas, but it's perfect. So that is coming up. Logan is going to tell us about what we can do, some things going on around the state at 7:05 to make Wisconsin feel even more Christmassy and help put you in the Christmas mood. And then at 7:20, our old pal, he's not old, he's very young. He's almost as young as you.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's an old friend now. Emerson Lehman from the WBAY Morning News Show. He's the co-anchor here in Green Bay. He will be here at 7:20-ish, and we'll catch up with Logan. We have to find out about Emmys. We know he won an Emmy last year. We want to talk to him about pickleball, maybe some Christmas movies, figure out what he's watching. Emerson is a great connoisseur of TV. And if he can race, I know he's a big racing fan too. We don't know if he'll be able to do that over the winter or if he moves that indoors or what, but we'll talk about all of that at 7:20. Do you know the answer to any of those?
Well, I know pickleball's a year-round sport for him.
Right.
You can easily play it inside. So I know he'll continue doing that.
Yeah.
And doing tournaments, you know?
Pickleball is big in the inner cities. You got inner city kids walking around with their paddles and their wiffle balls, looking for pickup games. It will help propel them to the professional. I've only played pickleball outside. I've never played indoor pickleball.
I've only played pickleball inside.
Oh, we would be a formidable duo. Honestly, my mom introduced me to the sport about 12 years ago, and my parents' driveway was perfect. So when we would come back to visit, they would have pickleball set up. And I was like, what the heck is this crazy sport? And now I feel like she was kind of ahead of the curve because it is everywhere now. And Emerson is not just a casual pickleball player. He's like, I've seen pictures he's posted on Facebook. Like, he takes it seriously. Like, get out of this guy's way, right?
Yeah. He takes it serious.
Bunch of blue hairs, back off. Emerson's coming. So, no, he's very good at it, too, as I understand. So that'll be a fun conversation. We'll talk to Emerson at 7:20. So there's a fun show guest-wise. It's also, I don't know what it is about today, but I feel like maybe now that the anniversary show is over, I kind of feel like we are in the throes of the holiday season because our first weekend between Thanksgiving and Christmas is here, basically. It's tomorrow. And I feel like the holidays are here. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what we have to do to prepare and, what we have to do. I was going to go to the question, but Conrad's busy. He's up and down answering phones. It's like, I feel like he's a Time Life operator right now. So we'll do that. And then, oh God, someone's coming. Okay. So, and then I have to tell you guys this. This is kind of funny. This happened today. I'm trying to book an actor on the show named Glenn Morshower. He's a great actor. He was in 24. He's one of those actors where if you saw his face, you would know him. And Glenn is a really talented guy. So my sister Julie is friends with him. And she's like, hey, how about Glenn on the show? I'm like, that's great. So she sets us up in a text. She introduces us. Glenn says, I could maybe do next Wednesday. Otherwise, we'd have to push to January. I'm like, that's fine. So today, right before I got down, I got on the floor to do yoga. I thought I'll text Glenn back quick to see if he can do next Wednesday. So I text him. I send the text, and then I hit record. And I recorded myself doing yoga for 21 minutes. I'm not really saying anything, but I use a YouTube channel, a woman named Sarah Beth, who's great, who does yoga on YouTube. She's got all these different videos. And I just kind of follow along, and I do yoga in my own living room. Well, I recorded that, and then I opened my phone when I was done, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, my God, I got a voice file. And that happens once in a while. I accidentally make a voice file. and I just delete it. Today, I accidentally hit send. So this actor, this accomplished actor who I don't know that well, who my sister knows, gets this recording of me just doing yoga. Probably hears deep breathing and this woman, the yoga teacher's voice talking. And I thought I deleted it quick enough, but I got a text from my sister and she says, you sent this audio file to me and Glenn. And I was like, I did? I said, I thought I deleted it in time. And she goes, no, it's just this woman's voice doing yoga. So I didn't erase it quick enough. So this guy who barely knows me is getting a video or an audio file of me doing yoga. That's not so unforgivable, is it? I mean, people do yoga. And my sister, she goes, hey, Pete, at least you're being healthy. And I was like, well, no, I was eating a Big Mac at the same time. But this guy's probably like, how tech challenged is this radio host, Pete Schwaba, who sends me a 21-minute clip of his yoga teacher just talking? So we'll have to overcome that. That will be something when Glenn does finally come on the show. We'll have some laughs talking about that. Big game tonight. But before we get to that, are you good? What's going on?
I just got
You got a pizza in the oven or something? You're like bopping up and down. I'm trying to get to the question of the night. What's going on? Are we okay?
Well, this is for the popcorn pick of the week. I'm just,
Oh, no. She's not. Is she coming in person?
No.
Oh, okay.
But there's no surprises.
There's no surprises. Okay.
There is surprises.
Oh, in a good way?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I've already surprised someone today by sending them a 20-minute yoga file over the phone. So I'll have to. All right. So before we get to a little Packer Lions talk, I know Conrad is chomping at the bit, probably wanting to talk about that. We have to do our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
What do you dread the most about the holidays? We're pretty positive on the show most of the time. I love the holidays, but I feel like we're kind of in it now. This is the first weekend coming up, pre-Christmas weekend, post-Thanksgiving weekend. What do you dread the most about the holidays? Because we're only human. We love the lights and the Christmas and or the Christmas trees, and maybe you go to midnight mass. I don't know what it is, but what do you dread the most? I'll start. Christmas shopping. I'm so bad at Christmas shopping. I don't like doing it. And here's how bad I am. I don't even like doing it online, which you can do while you're watching TV or doing other things. I could do it right now if I wanted to. Point and click. I still hate doing it. I'm a terrible gift getter. Unless I get someone tells me what to get them. And that's what I do, because I want people to be happy. When I get them a gift, I want them to be happy. I don't want to say, here, I think you need this. Here's an ab roller. Or here's a Peloton. And I don't have the kind of money where I can buy my wife a pickup truck. I could get her like a 76 Ford Maverick. But I don't know who these couples are on TV buying each other trucks. I guess if you can do it, do it. What do you dread the most about the holidays? Let us know. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Let me know what you dread the most about the holidays. You can also let us know on the app. Very easy to text. Just click the text icon, no matter what station you're listening on, because we are on statewide, and you'll get us immediately, and we'll read it on the radio. You can also text us on the stream if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook or the WGBW. Is it the WGBW Twitter site?
Yeah.
Okay. Or WISS. And people can watch, on the other stations around the states, YouTube channels, right?
Yep.
All right. So any station you're watching on over YouTube, just let us know what you think. What do you dread the most about the holidays? We're going to have a little bit of Packer and Lion talk when we come back. They're playing tonight. But don't tune in to them until after Nightlight, right?
Exactly.
See if we can keep people entertained. Also, it's Bathtub Party Day. We'll dip our toe into that. See what I do with that? When we come back. And we have a very special movie trailer we're going to play, a new Lifemark movie. They're playing Christmas movies all month. and we'll show you what we did. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
A smash of Mercedes-Benz. First we run and then we laugh till we cry. But when the night is falling, you cannot find the light. You feel your dreams are dying.
Many of our agricultural exports and drove up the cost of single-family homes because the cost of lumber from places like Canada went way the frick up. Everything got more expensive.
The Maggie Dawn Show, weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Todd Alba Show.
Pat Kreitlow, all your time in the media, television, radio, what have you, what was one or two of the oddest things that people were complaining about?
As a TV anchor, your hair.
You have some of the finest hair around. How could anybody criticize your hair?
Oh, well, because a consultant forced me to change it.
Were there focus groups?
I'm not aware of any focus groups other than the audience, which universally hated it. It was a bowl haircut.
The Todd Alba Show, weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
That first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of Fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google.
Down, down, down. Come on! We get dressed up and we go out ready for a night. We come home.
Welcome back. We still got balloons left over in the studio from yesterday, even though I didn't make it in for the anniversary show. And there was that big one hanging that was on the camera. I don't know what Conrad is doing. He's been on the phone the entire show. Going to the text line, we have our question tonight is, what do you dread the most about the holidays? That's our question tonight, 855-752-4842. Let's get into some of these texts. Sherry says, good evening, Pete and Conrad. And friends, good evening, Sherry. She switched to the Santa and Christmas tree emojis, which I like. That helps put me in the spirit. Eric from Lodi says, wrapping gifts. Shopping is a close second. I said mine was shopping. And you know what? Now that he mentions wrapping gifts, that might be a tie for first. I am not a good wrapper either. I can't wrap and I can't wrap. Joe from the 715 says, definitely the weather and cold, also lack of sunlight. Joe is dealing with some serious, it just sounds like you don't like winter, Joe, but that's a great text. I'm kind of with you there too. Sherry from Horicon says, this Christmas has wonderful and blessed, this Christmas was wonderful and blessed. My mom passed this month peacefully. My daughter is getting married at the Capitol on December 21st. That's pretty cool. Then the rush of Christmas. Then the next week is my students' Christmas recital, January 4th. Wow, Sherry, you've got a busy month. And it sounds like you're totally in the Christmas mood, which is fantastic. So thank you for sharing all of that with us. She doesn't sound like she dreads anything, though. Eric says, you're not making a sequel to The Godfather of Green Bay, are you? I will if you write me a check, Eric. How about we do that? Keep those texts coming. What are you dreading the most about Christmas or the Christmas season? We have to get Conrad's answer, too. He's making long-distance calls. I think he's like calling old relatives. We got a phone call? Oh, yeah, put him through. Who is it? What the hell is happening here? We have our movie trailer coming up too, folks, in just a minute or two. You're not going to want to miss that. It's LifeMark Network. We cut the trailer for a new movie on LifeMark. We're going to play that momentarily. But first, we're going to take a call. Who do we have, Conrad?
Cindy from Appleton.
Hey, Cindy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Great to hear from you. What's going on?
Well, this is what I dread for the holidays, especially the Christmas and the New Year's, is the weather. Because I remember many a nights when I was really dressed up for a New Year's Eve party, and it was 30 below zero with the wind chill. So that's the kind of stuff I don't look forward to with this kind of holiday stuff because the weather's could be so icky.
You know, honestly, Cindy, those days are few and far between. But when they happen, I find myself thinking, and as much as I love the Midwest, I'm happy to be from here. I'm happy to live here now. But I think, why did my ancestors locate here in a place where it can get that damn cold?
Yep.
I'm with you. That's a great call. Yep. Thanks so much, Cindy.
Yep.
Have a great night. You too. So Cindy is with Joe. It's the weather, the darkness. Conrad, what are you dreading the most about Christmas?
I'm trying. You have to come back to me.
All right.
I've been trying to think of this, and I love Christmas, you know?
Same.
Is my favorite holiday, so it's hard to pick.
But not everything is great. It does bring stress.
It does. I'll say this. Not sleeping in my own bed.
Where are you going?
I can't have it at my place, obviously, because
okay.
It's an apartment for one guy. So yeah, it's
So what are you going back to Florida?
No.
Oh, okay.
But go to my brother's. Then other family too.
Wasn't your brother live in Green Bay?
Appleton.
Oh, okay. Well, you could. You don't have to. You don't
It's
have
not
to
the
bunk
same
there.
thing, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
You have a couple of drinks too. Don't want to.
Oh yeah,
go
that's
on the
good.
road either.
He is the lovable producer, Conrad, and he's a very good citizen.
That is true.
I can. That makes sense. Your own bed. That's a lot of people travel for the holidays. I get that. For me, it's shopping. I hate it, but I'm also with Eric. I don't like to wrap. I mean, I do it. It's not silly to complain about it, but it's not something I usually leave it till the last minute. So, all right, we have a segment we're doing here on the show all month. We are going to release a new movie trailer, one a week. It's our own personal network we created called the LifeMark Network, and we're going to be promoting movies to play on said network all month. And we have our first installment tonight. It's a very special film. I hope you enjoy it. LifeMark's Very Melancholy Christmas continues with this week's film, The Christmas Shoes.
The holiday spirit is alive in the little town of Port Denmark, Wisconsin. The picturesque streets are lined with Christmas lights and good cheer. And Christmas cheer is teeming in the people of Port Denmark and in a very special pair of shoes.
Honey, these shoes were handed down from your great-grandmother to your grandmother to me, and now I'm giving them to you. We've all met the love of our lives while we were wearing the Christmas shoes. And if you're wearing them when you're proposed to, your marriage will be full of love and romance and prosperity. You and Derek are so good together. If Derek doesn't propose, I don't want it to be because you weren't wearing the Christmas shoes. Oh, sweetheart, he would be a fool to let you go. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Mom.
This Christmas, feel the love of the Christmas shoes playing all month long on LifeMark. Very well done. Conrad, great work. You have serious acting chops. I just want to say, that was Conrad playing the son, who is to marry Derek. But the best thing is, here. Okay, so here's what we did. When we were putting the trailer together, Conrad tried to make his voice very deep. And try to imitate what you did. We didn't use this take when you say thanks, Mom, but this is what it sounded like.
How did I do it again?
Okay, I'll do it. You went, thanks, Mom. You sounded like Peter Boyle in Young Frankenstein when he sings "Put on the Hits," so they get to him when you're blue. Yeah. Life, you know, what you fashion sits. And I laughed my butt off, but we went with a different take. But it was very funny, and Conrad picked fantastic music for that. So thank you, Todd and Amanda and Conrad. The WGBW players will be bringing you a new trailer all month here on Nightlight as we get closer to Christmas. Anna from the 608 says, hi, Pete and Conrad. I dread doing Christmas cards as it takes a long time. I enjoyed the Cap Times article about you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for reading it, and thank you for the nice words. And, boy, there's a lot of stuff about Christmas because I don't like, we stopped doing cards years ago. They take forever.
Yeah.
They're expensive to send out. You got to track down addresses. The people that still do them, I have the utmost respect for. We stopped a while ago. We send out, electronic stuff. But great text. Keep them coming. What do you dread the most about this Christmas season? When we come back, it's our popcorn pick of the week. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network. Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The most common scams people become victims of during the holidays are fake charities, gift card scams, holiday vacation scams, and look-alike online stores. Grant Wheat, the Vice President of Risk Management at Verva Credit Union, said holidays are a risky time.
The reason this is so big during the holidays is that people are just happy to give, right? This is a great time. Everybody feels rejuvenated when it's in the holidays. Everybody seems upbeat and you just want to give, right? You want to help out. That's all in the holiday spirit. So scammers take advantage of that.
Wheat encourages consumers to slow down, talk to someone they trust, and look for red flags such as spelling, grammar, and odd email addresses or contact methods before acting on anything that seems too good to be true. President-elect Donald Trump's pick for the Health and Human Services Secretary recently made a dubious claim about the percentage of children taking antidepressants. Wisconsin Watch's Trisha Young has this fact check.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. claimed in Milwaukee that, quote, 40% of our kids are on antidepressants, unquote. However, the latest data indicate that fewer than 8% of U.S. minors use these medications. A 2022 federal survey found 6.6% of children had used a psychotropic medication like an antidepressant in the prior month. Another 2024 study from the University of Michigan found 7.9% of teens filled at least one antidepressant prescription in 2022. I'm Trisha Young for Wisconsin Watch. Learn more at wisconsinwatch.org.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Do you have an actor you like to watch, even if he or she is in a TV show or movie that isn't great? That's how I feel about Coleman Domingo, who is the star of the show Madness. Domingo plays an outspoken TV personality who rents an Airbnb in the secluded Pennsylvania woods to work on a book, but stumbles upon a murder. He ends up fighting for his life while trying to clear his name after being framed for the crime. I can't give it rave reviews, but it's not a bad thriller, mostly because of the performance of Domingo. Season 1 of The Madness is available to stream on Netflix. Speaking of Domingo, his film Sing Sing is one of 5 nominees for Best Picture by the Independent Spirit Awards. Other nominees include the Demi Moore horror film The Substance, modern-day Cinderella critics' darling Anora, A24's I Saw the TV Glow, and Amazon MGM's Nickel Boys, which will be in theaters December 13th. Many more nominations for many more award shows will be announced right around the corner, folks. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, a low in the mid-teens. And a mix of sun and clouds for your Friday afternoon, a high in the mid-20s. Warmer for the weekend and a partly sunny sky, high in the upper 30s for Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. It's 24 right now.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
From the Lake Shore to Lake Winnebago.
Door to Fond du Lac counties.
Northeast Wisconsin is special for many different reasons. I'm Lisa Hale.
And I'm Terry Barr. Family and fun.
Safe communities and friends. We're featuring all of it as part of New Wisco Weekend, a news magazine show just for you, and highlighting what makes the Fox Valley and Green Bay area a great place to live. Join us.
New Wisco Weekend, Saturday mornings at 8, Sundays at 11 on WGBW and WISS and the Civic Media app.
On the next New Wisco Weekend, we're turning the tables on traditions.
Knew you'd be a vision in white.
Welcome back. You got Nightlight, folks. I'm Pete Schwaba, the lovable producer. Conrad riding shotgun tonight. We've got great guest. Emerson Lehman will be here at 7:20 in studio. He is the morning show host of the WBAY Morning News. Logan Rogie joins us at 7:05 to tell us what we should be doing in our beautiful state that is teeming with Christmas and Christmas spirit as usual. It's beautiful here. We've already got snow in Marinette. I don't know what it's like where you are, but Logan will tell us of some really cool events happening around the state. That's at 7:05. Right now, Conrad, what time of the week is it?
It's time for the Nightlight Popcorn Pick of the Week, where we recommend a movie that you'll either enjoy or won't. Here's your host, Pete Schwaba.
This is exciting. I love this time of the week because we get to learn about our guest and what our guest does and what kind of movies they watch when they lay their popcorn pick of the week on us. And this week, it is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Faith Flynn to the program. She works for Caribou Coffee, and I love Caribou Coffee, Faith. I don't have a problem telling you that. I'm not sucking up. It's great coffee. Welcome to Nightlight.
Thank you for having me, and I love to hear it.
Yeah, I bet you do. Are you, you kind of have to say you like it? I'm sure even if you didn't, you'd say you did, but it's great coffee.
Well, yeah, half the reason I took my job is because I love Caribou Coffee, so.
Wait, now hold on. Be honest. Did you really drink Caribou Coffee before you went to work for Caribou Coffee?
I did. Actually, when I went to college, it was one of the first stores coffee shops that I ever went to. I went to UW-Madison, and it was right on State Street. It was connected to an Einstein Bros bagels, and it was one of the first coffee shops I studied in, so.
That's
definitely
so cool.
Can say I love it.
Well, we have a couple here in Green Bay. They're great. It's great to have you. How are you doing tonight?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. We have fun every night here. We talk about movies and TV and comedy and music and kind of whatever tickles our fancy. And tonight, I just realized before you came on the show, and Conrad can back me up on this, we've had people in to talk about cigars, whiskey, all kinds of these sort of novelty products. We really have not had much coffee talk. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you some questions about coffee.
All right. That sounds good.
All right. So what kind of coffee do you drink? Do you go for the medium roast? I just learned recently, Faith, that I always thought the darker roast was stronger. But correct me if I'm wrong, medium roast has more caffeine than dark roast. Is that true?
Yeah, typically, like the lighter the roast is, the more potent the caffeine is in it. Yeah.
Okay, because I always thought you always hear people have espresso after dinner or in the middle of the afternoon. And I was like, why are they like? I always thought espresso was like a shot of Mountain Dew or something, but it's really not that. It's just meant to give you a little bit of a boost, not quite a full cup of like light roasted coffee.
I mean, espresso does definitely still give you that boost. Like, I will tell you that. We do what we call boosted. If you add an espresso shot to any of our drinks, it'll give you that extra boost.
That'll make you run a marathon. That's crazy. And I heard recently that the head coach of the Detroit Lions shows up every day to work with 2 venti coffees or large coffees. I don't know if he gets them from Starbucks or somewhere else, but then he has 3 shots of espresso put in each.
Wow, that is a lot. have you jittering.
This guy's not going to be around long, right?
Might need to get his heart checked.
Okay.
But I can't say that I've never done that. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've never gone that crazy. But what kind of coffee do you go for? Like, let's say you're going into work, you want a cup of coffee. How do you order it, and what kind do you order?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big latte fan, especially during the winter months. I like a hotter drink. During summer, I like an iced drink. Usually, I'm kind of plain Jane. I like a vanilla latte.
Okay.
But during the fall, I really liked our Honeycrisp apple espresso shaker, which was really great.
Wow.
And right now we have a cranberry espresso shaker that I really like. Really like those iced drinks. That's kind of but sometimes when it's really cold, I'll have to switch to the hot just to warm my hands up a little bit. If I'm going plain Jane, probably medium roast. I take just a little bit of creamer and probably 1 sugar.
See, that's interesting because I'm the exact opposite. I like hot coffee, definitely in the winter months, but even in the summer, I like a hot cup of coffee first thing in the morning. I like the cold, the iced coffees too, but I always start at least with hot coffee. What do you? Faith, that last sentence, I just want you to know, I bored myself. So you don't have to laugh at everything. Conrad, right? I mean, sometimes I just try to make a point. They can't all be gold, right?
No, I guess not.
Okay, very good. So Faith, where does the name Caribou come from? Do you know how Caribou got its name or why they named it after that? I mean, that's a moose, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure exactly why they landed on Caribou, but it could be because we are based out of Minnesota. So definitely just that Northwoods vibe and culture.
Yeah.
Is kind of what makes Caribou great. But I'm not quite sure why they landed on Caribou specifically.
Okay.
I think it really encompasses where we come from and what we sit just the Midwest coffee shop,
Sure. And it does give this kind of that vibe of you're out in the wilderness, it's a chilly day, you're about to take an animal down with your bare hands, and you just want a nice hot cup of coffee first, right?
Absolutely. Okay. I agree.
So where are you from? Are you a native Minnesotan?
No, actually, I am originally from the Green Bay area. I now am based out of Madison. Still, I kind of service all of the Wisconsin area. I'm the field marketing specialist.
Nice. That's a good gig. Madison's great. Do you love it there?
I do. I really do love it there. So
all
sometimes
right.
I miss home, but
yeah.
Madison's kind of the...
Do you get up here to visit much up to Northeast Wisconsin?
I do.
Okay.
Especially more so now that we're, opening a few more stores in that area, but I visit my parents are still there all the time.
So what are the chances that we're going to get a Caribou in Marinette?
I cannot say for sure. I know that we are still growing all over Wisconsin. So there is a chance, but at the current moment in time, I don't think there's any plans right now, but maybe in the future.
I'm not trying to pressure you, but we recently got a Noodles and Company, and an Arby's. We did lose the Applebee's. That's a loss, but
Dang it.
I know. But there is a Starbucks there, and if I was in the coffee game, I would consider Starbucks. I don't hate Starbucks, but there's a lot of other better coffees. They're just everywhere. And when one came to Marinette, I thought, okay, if we can have a Starbucks, we can have a Caribou. So I'm on board. If you need me to help make this happen somehow, I don't know how I can do that, but let me know, okay?
Yeah, well, your wants have been heard. I will see what I can do.
Run that up the flagpole and see. I'm not expecting to hear back from the CEO anytime soon, but it's just a note, a consumer concern.
I'll drop him your number.
I appreciate that. So apparently, Conrad, what happened? Faith was trying to send us some products. That's a great guest right there. We didn't ask for anything like that, but we appreciate that you tried to get us some Caribou products. But what happened, Conrad?
I'm not really sure, to be honest, but we do appreciate the sentiment behind it.
We got an Uber Eats driver, I think, that, I don't know, he probably delivered the coffee samples to the haberdashery down the street, and all the guys that are selling hats are going, well, this is great. Thank you. Where did this come from? So, but we appreciate you making the effort to send us some free swag.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry that it didn't reach you. Hopefully we'll be able to send you some stuff in the future because if you like our product, obviously it would have been a great surprise.
I definitely do. No pressure, though. It's just great to have you on the show. But let's turn our talk to movies. We're getting close to your popcorn pick of the week. I'm excited to hear what movie you can recommend. But before we get there, do you have a snack, Faith, that you like to eat when you're watching a movie or binge watching a TV show, whether it's popcorn or even a cup of coffee?
I mean, definitely have to have the popcorn. But I think just to preface the movie that I will be picking, I think our Ho Ho Mint Mocha will definitely tie the vibes together, especially during the Christmas season, because I'm going to recommend the Christmas movie.
Nice.
In the sense of the holidays.
Okay, no spoiler alerts, but I kind of assume that's the route you were going, because that sounds like a delicious. So you do the popcorn. And that's your coffee for the particular movie that you'll be recommending. But what do you do? Candy during a movie? What else do you do?
I mean, if I'm going to theaters, definitely like a slushie.
Nice.
A little sweetness in there.
Yeah.
But usually I'm just straight up popcorn. Like that's my go-to.
Yeah, old school. All right. And then do you have a typical genre of movie you like, Faith? Like what is your kind of favorite genre?
Oh, I mean, all over the place. I do like a good fantasy movie. Like, I mean, I actually listened to your last week's segment, Lord of the Rings. That was a great pick. Hobbit, stuff like that. But I also am a big fan of rom-coms. I do love the Christmas season just for all the, the cheesy Hallmark movies. But like anything with Ryan Reynolds in it too. Like.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a great. Did you happen to hear our trailer we just played before we brought you on?
I did not. No.
Okay, Conrad. Maybe after we get Faith's pick, we can replay that, just so she
Sure,
has
yeah.
something to look forward to. We got a text here from one of our regulars. Faith Steady Eddie says, Pete, I can accept Caribou Coffee doing the popcorn pick of the week. I understand there are only so many popcorn sellers in the world. Well, that is true. Much less Wisconsin. He says, what I am proposing, Pete, is that Caribou Coffee team up with a popcorn maker and develop and sell a Caribou Coffee flavored caramel corn.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
That might work, right?
Yeah, I mean, we use like real caramel in all of our drinks, so we have caramel. Like, it would make sense to somehow come up with a caramel corn.
Caramel corn coffee.
Using the caramel that we source. So that sounds amazing.
I'm seeing a lot of alliteration here. Caramel corn caribou coffee. I love it.
It's advertising gold right there.
That's right. And then Steady Eddie somehow manages to make this text political, says, as Joe Biden would say, I'm being serious here. No joke. Please run my idea past your guest. Well, I just did Steadfast Edward. Thank you very much for the text, Eddie. I think you started something there, and maybe Steady Eddie should get a taste of the profits if it comes to that. But we'll let Faith work that out if it comes to fruition.
You're sending me with a lot of homework today.
That's right. Well, you'll have to come in person sometime because I could tell. I love that you love movies, and I love that you love coffee. So I think you'd be a fun guest. So let's keep in touch after this interview for sure. Conrad, I think we're ready for our popcorn pick of the week. Faith, stand by. This is Faith Flynn from Caribou Coffee with a popcorn pick of the week. Lay it on us.
I know it's going to be a little bit of a cliche, but Elf.
Oh, that's not cliche. That's a great movie. Listen, that's become a favorite, more so a favorite than some of the classics, actually. That's very well
that
done.
is a classic. I grew up watching that. So.
Well, there you go. And what is your favorite kind of coffee again? Say that again. What you like when you watch Elf?
You gotta go with a hot Ho Ho Mint Mocha. It's our kind of twist on the peppermint mocha. Made with real white chocolate, peppermint on top. Just would be perfect with fireplace, fuzzy blankets, lit Christmas tree.
Oh my gosh!
And then Elf playing.
That sentence
And some of
alone.
that caramel corn.
Yeah, right. That sentence you just said alone is enough to put people in the Christmas spirit. All right, Faith Flynn is here. We're going to keep her for a couple more minutes after a very short break. We're going to play our Hallmark trailer again, in case you didn't hear it, and we want Faith to hear it because she likes those kind of movies. So she's agreed to stick around for a couple more minutes. We will be right back with more Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Stand, follow me. Tell me
Swabanon to Alloway. This is 97.9 WGBW.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. As Democrats pick up the pieces from their loss to Donald Trump, one of the first major decisions the party will be making is to select the new chair of the Democratic National Committee. The race for that role now has a major Wisconsin connection. Ben Wickler, the chair of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin, is now officially running for DNC chair. One Democratic source I talked to characterized Wickler as a Goldilocks candidate for the role. He's liked by both centrists and progressives, big dollar donors and grassroots organizers, and knows how important state parties around the country can be in a second Trump term. So, could he be just right for the role? The vote for DNC chair is scheduled for February 1st. A lot can happen between now and then. But whether or not Wickler wins in his bid for the role, it will certainly be a story to watch for Democratic politics in Wisconsin.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
Hey there, it's Carrie Joy with your Work Money Minute. My savings tip for today is about meal planning. I know you've heard of it, but let's talk about it. Meal planning will save you money, it reduces impulse purchases, it helps you not waste food, and it may be the very best thing you can do to cut back on your weekly spending. It also helps cut back the number of arguments we have in my house about what's for dinner. A writer of a recent Reader's Digest article said that she saved herself $500 a month on meal planning. I mean, we all eat differently, but those are some real savings. I know, meal planning can be a pain. So, I reward myself with a treat while I plan. A beer, some ice cream, maybe a recipe magazine. And in my house, the planner does not have to be the shopper. That's real motivation. For more everyday money tips,
This is a Thursday edition of Nightlight, and Eric from Lodi says, I'm gonna. He says, "The Godfather of Green Bay." Faith, have you seen a movie called The Godfather of Green Bay?
I've not.
Okay. Eric this is one of our regular texters, says Godfather of Green Bay was kind of a rom-com. Just saying. I mean, it's the giant spider invasion, but it's a good watch on a Saturday night. Thank you, Eric. And this is a movie I made, Faith, years ago. Tony Goldwyn is in it, Lauren Holly, Tom Lennon. And a lot of people that saw it after it came out said it's like a rom-com for guys. And I thought, that sounds like a great new genre. And, a lot of people saw it. It did okay, but I think I really thought I would clean up. But you might want to check that out because Eric's got his finger on the pulse. Wouldn't you say, Conrad?
I would say so.
He's got a lot of knowledge about show business. And thank you for watching the film, Eric. I'm sure I'll get a check for 3 cents in the mail at some point that I appreciate because every little bit helps. But thank you for the text. All right, Faith. So what we do, as you know, on this show is talk about movies and TV. Are you binge watching anything right now that you could recommend, like TV-wise?
Oh, right now, I mean, I'm just about to start Game of Thrones. I read the books, and this is another cliche. So I'm really excited to start that. All my friends have been recommending The Bear. I have not started it, but I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with The Bear. And if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, I'll just tell you, I am not like a medieval guy. I don't even like those when you go to have the 7-course meal and the knights ride in while you're eating. But it is good. It's very addicting. And I watched like every season within about 3 months. So if you like the books, I'm sure you'll like the show. Okay. So let me just ask you this, and then we want to play our trailer for you, Faith. But what were you doing before Caribou Coffee? Is this your first gig in the coffee racket?
Actually, I was working for just a small real estate firm in Madison. That was my first kind of gig out of school. So this is kind of my first job in coffee. I actually had a dream of being a barista while I was in college, but with COVID, that was unfortunately dashed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would say now you're like the barista's boss, right?
I don't know. Sometimes, they know more than me. So
yeah. Do you call them baristas when you go in? I never know what, like, at first when I heard that, I thought it was kind of a joke, like people that would call themselves like an oil change technician or something like that. But it's a real thing, right? It's like kind of a creative art form, sort of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they put their heart and soul into every drink. I think they definitely are artists in their own form. If you want to get technical, at Caribou, they're called baristas.
Why is that?
But yeah, definitely are baristas.
What's a barista?
Caribou.
Oh, boo.
Barista.
Gotcha.
It's a play on words there.
How about carabrista? Another thing for you to run up the flagpole, Faith.
Trying to change everything about the company.
Oh, I am making you earn this appearance, aren't I? It's great to have you. You're a good sport. We're going to play our life mark. We're calling it movie trailer for you. Tell us if this is something that you would be interested in watching.
Okay.
Life Mark's very melancholy Christmas continues with this week's film, The Christmas Shoes.
The holiday spirit is alive in the little town of Port Denmark, Wisconsin. The picturesque streets are lined with Christmas lights and good cheer. And Christmas cheer is teeming in the people of Port Denmark and in a very special pair of shoes.
Honey, these shoes were handed down from your great-grandmother to your grandmother to me, and now I'm giving them to you. We've all met the love of our lives while we were wearing the Christmas shoes. And if you're wearing them when you're proposed to, your marriage will be full of love and romance and prosperity. You and Derek are so good together. If Derek doesn't propose, I don't want it to be because you weren't wearing the Christmas shoes. Oh, sweetheart, he would be a fool to let you go. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Mom.
This Christmas, feel the love of the Christmas shoes playing all month long on LifeMark. Faith, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. If you have to take a moment to gather yourself, I know it's sort of a heavy scene. Is that a movie you could see yourself curling up with a cup of peppermint mocha coffee?
You know, I definitely could see it. I thought I was going to go a different direction. Just Christmas shoes always makes me think of the song about the really sad, Christmas shoes the boy buys for his mom.
Oh my God!
So
yes.
I was pleasantly surprised that it was not about that. It wasn't that sad. So I think I would definitely see myself watching that movie.
All right, we will get you some information on when the movie drops so you can check it out. Faith, you're a great sport. Thank you so much for being here and giving us your popcorn pick of the week, which was Elf, a great choice. And I look forward, if that package you sent ever does arrive, if the Uber Eats guy ever finds our station. Either way, I thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
You too. That's Faith Flynn from Caribou Coffee. Check out Caribou Coffee. It's kind of like the dark horse in the race. You don't hear a lot about it in some markets, but it's great coffee.
I mean, the first time I tried it, I was like, okay, this is already better than anything I've had at Starbucks. And
I'm not just saying this, folks. They don't advertise with us. I love part of the joy of flying for me. I always liked when there was a Caribou Coffee at the airport. On the text line, Jim from the 920 says, the house hopping. I love to see the people, but not too long. Then on to the next house. He says he doesn't like going from house to house. He says, add in the lousy weather. It's just too stressful. Totally agree with you, Jim. Thank you for the text. And Bridget says, I love the holidays. It is a busy time, and you have a lot of planning, shopping, cooking. But what I really dread the most is when they end. Wow. She totally turned that into a positive. That's really impressive, Bridget. Now I feel like kind of a heel for even asking the question. All right, we will be right back with our friend Logan Rogie from Travel, Wisconsin. He's going to keep us posted and tell us what we should be doing as we get closer to Christmas. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network. Great to have you.
They return. The grand
Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
Dom Salvia.
Just PS, Dom's producer here. Next time, Matt Rothschild takes the host seat. Catch Dom back on Monday.
The Dom Salvia Show, weekdays 4 till 6.
The Dom Salvia Show.
Harvey K., Professor Emeritus of Democracy. We're talking about the Act 10 overturned by a Dane County judge.
I think it's important for everyone to know that this was the state that in 1959 first granted public employees the right to organize and bargain collectively. We have a lot to take back. I used to say take back America. Well, I say take back Wisconsin.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays from 4 till 6 on the Civic Media Radio Network and on the Civic Media app. This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. Automaker Honda recalling 6 figures worth of its sport utes.
More than 200,000 Honda Pilots and Honda Passports are getting recalled. The issue affects SUVs made after the 2023 model year. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says there may be an improper connection in the vehicle's fuel pipe, which means it could break apart and leak gasoline in the event of a crash.
ABC's Mike Dubusky. On a vote of 204 to 198, the House rejected a bid by Democrats to force the Ethics Committee to release its report on former Congressman Matt Gaetz. Allegations of sexual improprieties doomed his nomination for U.S. Attorney General. New York City police continue trying to identify the person who shot and killed United Healthcare Chief Exec Brian Thompson early Wednesday morning. They've released surveillance imagery, hoping someone recognizes that individual. They are getting a lot of leads. This is ABC News.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Hi, I'm Michael Friedman, CEO of Simple Life Hospitality. Let us take the hassle out of vacation rental property management. We'll maximize your earnings and handle every detail from cleaning to maintenance and repairs. For guests, enjoy a stay that feels like home with hand-selected properties, personal touches like local recommendations, and extras like concierge service that will make your trip unforgettable. Whether you're a homeowner or a traveler, experience the Simple Life. Visit simpleliferentals.com.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. World AIDS Day was earlier this week. More than 7,000 people in Wisconsin are living with HIV, and many of them are concerned about the future of their care in the next presidential administration. President-elect Donald Trump has picked Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. RFK Jr. has falsely said HIV does not cause AIDS. Social scientist Anthony Petro says the country has already experienced decades of misinformation, discrimination, and stigma when it comes to HIV and AIDS. To hear it now from someone who may be the top healthcare official in America is concerning.
Here's someone today in 2024 thinking about those kind of conspiracy theory approaches to thinking about HIV and AIDS is certainly troubling, but it's not new. And I think we do have a very good infrastructure for HIV/AIDS care.
For folks at higher risk, pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, has saved countless lives. It's a simple pill people can take every day that can help protect them if they're exposed to HIV. Most private insurance and Medicaid...
The Bucks lose to the Hawks. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks lost at home to the Atlanta Hawks, 119-104. Milwaukee now 11-10. They face the Celtics tomorrow night in Boston. College basketball, Marquette losing to Iowa State, 81-70. The Golden Eagles host the Badgers on Saturday. NFL, Packers and the Lions tonight on Thursday Night Football. Tight end Tucker Kraft on the Packers' good mood after winning 3 in a row.
The locker room is almost always like this because even when we are down, we're not emotionally down.
College football, Wisconsin signed 24 new recruits, but has over a dozen, including wide receiver Trek Kakahuna, entering the transfer portal. Luke Fickell on getting new players to commit despite a losing season.
Let's be honest, it's pretty easy for people out there to say, well, why would you want to do that? They're going to go right back to doing what they did before. If people believe and trust in you, then they'll have some blind faith.
That's the Badgers' Luke Fickell. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, a low in the mid-teens. And a mix of sun and clouds for your Friday afternoon, a high in the mid-20s. Warmer for the weekend and a partly sunny sky, high in the upper 30s for Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. Right now it's 22.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Jeffrey from Madison.
I worked for the city of Madison for 34 years. Act 10 cost me $42,000.
Yep.
In 1977, the state of Wisconsin passed a law that says public employees cannot strike. With Act 10, now we can't bargain for working conditions and benefits, so they basically turned public employees into second-class citizens.
Yes.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. The Todd Alba Show.
Kash Patel, who Trump has nominated to be the head of the FBI, saying he wants to basically shut down the main parts of the FBI. Bill Barr, MAGA Republican Attorney General to Donald Trump. Quote, the very idea of moving Patel into a role like this showed a shocking detachment from reality, unquote. This is not the left calling out Patel. This is the right.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Earl Ingram.
Friday morning, Sandy Williams will be back in the studio and we'll talk about the holidays, the latest in politics, and a whole lot more.
The Earl Ingram Show. Weekday mornings at 9.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who likes pina coladas but hates getting caught in the rain, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to hour number 2 of this Thursday edition of Nightlight. Great to have you with me this evening on this blustery, cold night, at least in northeast Wisconsin. It's blustery and cold. But my next guest can maybe confirm what the weather is like in Madison, because I think he lives in the greater Madison area. He has become a frequent flyer on this show, and we love having Travel Wisconsin's Logan Rogie on to tell us about all the cool things going on in our state. Logan, how are you?
Pete, I am doing great today. And can confirm it is blustery and cold here in Madison as well. But, you know, I have to say I love it because you know what that means? Yep, that means it is snow-making weather for all Wisconsin ski hills. I know they are just loving this weather right now. So really kicking the winter season off well with this blustery and cold weather.
Boy, you have that diplomatic approach. You got a bounce in your voice. I could tell you do this in your sleep, and you're very good at it. So, yeah, Pete, snow's a good thing. Crazy, blustery, cold. Who doesn't love that? But good for you.
You know, it's not everyone's cup of hot chocolate. You know, there's plenty to do inside. There's plenty to do outside. And, hey, the calendar is showing December, and there is a lot to do this holiday season. I'm talking Christmas markets, holiday light displays, you know, ideas for gifting people travel. And so I'm just really excited to jump into these topics with you today, Pete.
Let's do it. Let's let the kidding around is pretty much over. Let's get down to business. What I want to start with is the House on the Rock, Christmas at the House on the Rock, because I have been meaning, Logan, since I moved back to Wisconsin to get to the House of the Rock. There's so much to see there. And I've had people on the show that have just been advocates for the place and how great it is. And I still haven't made it there. So let's start there. Tell us what Christmas at the House on the Rock is like.
You know, House on the Rock is just one of those unexpected attractions that make people really say like, wow, that's in Wisconsin. It's this sort of menagerie of just odds and end collections throughout the year. And for that Christmas season, they kind of turn over the stuff and they bring in all these, you know, antique decorations and Christmas trees and throw up tinsel everywhere. But you have that base layer of wonder there at the House on the Rock. You know, they have their antique carousel and their giant whale and all these other year-round attractions there, just with, you know, Christmas painted over it. And I know it's an incredibly popular destination to visit during the season. I haven't been myself, but I've only heard good things about it.
That's so great. What do you think? I mean, we have snow here. I'm not a big fan of winter, but I will say there is something special about Wisconsin at the holidays and at Christmas. We have so many great Christmassy towns and events, and the snow just provides such a beautiful backdrop. What is your favorite place in the state? Or give me a couple at Christmas time. And they don't have to just be on your list. You could go into your personal favorites or whatever before we get into some of these other things here.
One that I really like is Baraboo. The city was built around this kind of traditional town square where right there with like the court building right in the center of it, and all these locally owned shops lining it. And I'm talking, antique and rare bookstores and independent toy stores and all these unique places to go. And I know they go all out for December, having frequent events and activations and activities for the month. So really fun destination to check out in December. And I have to give a shout out to Hudson, Wisconsin, too. Right there along the St. Croix River, they've got this kind of historic brick and mortar Main Street. And it was actually the site of one, maybe two Hallmark movies. So,
nice.
It has that inherent Hallmark charm there.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Do you like Hallmark movies?
I'm hot and cold on them. Yeah.
They do say holidays somehow, though. Like, I don't really watch them, but I can't tell you the ads, seeing the ads upset me because it just reminds me that Christmas is here. And I know Wisconsin has a connection to them. Conrad, we should do something about that at some point with Hallmark movies and their connections to Wisconsin, whether it's talent or settings or whatever. I didn't know they shot some Hallmark movies here until you said that, Logan. But you also there's another great event I know that was on your website at the Milwaukee Zoo. Talk about that a little bit.
So I think you're referring to the Milwaukee Zoo Lights.
Zoo Lights, yeah.
So that's just a really popular thing for a lot of zoos throughout Wisconsin to do. Milwaukee County Zoo, and then Henry, Vilas, and Madison, where they just deck out their zoos and all these different displays and scenes of lights. Typically, they're kind of it's like animals at the zoo that are depicted in lights, and it's a really family-friendly activity to do throughout December.
That's great. Are you a fan of zoos to begin with?
Yeah, I enjoy checking out zoos. Especially if I have like a niece or nephew visiting. It's a good like option for younger visitors.
I have to be honest. My favorite Christmas settings and typically they're in cities are like at zoos. Like I've been to Milwaukee when it's been lit up, the Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago. I haven't been to the Madison Zoo, but I hear it's great. I love, because I like the animals to begin with, but when they light it up, it's so extra special. The other thing is like skating rinks in downtown settings like Milwaukee. Do you ice skate?
I don't. I wish I could. It's a great shame of mine, but I know we have like fantastic ice skating destinations throughout the state. I believe it's in Neenah, the Plaza. It's this really kind of charming Hallmark-esque newer ice skating destination. But then there in Milwaukee, there is Red Arrow Park, and that's really special.
Right.
That one because they have a lot of adaptive ice skating equipment available. So for folks who may have a physical disability, it provides an option for them to get out and experience that joy and thrill of gliding over the ice.
It's so great. And I love like where I live in Marinette, Logan, when you come in from the Upper Peninsula from Menominee, there's just a ton of pine trees. And it's set on the river, and there's a logging museum there, and they have a tree and they have lights. You just can't beat that when you drive into a city and see how they embrace Christmas. And I think a lot of cities around Wisconsin are like that. Let's talk about the Nutcracker, because that's on your page as well. You guys are promoting the Nutcracker at the in Oshkosh. Now I know it's also playing in Madison. What can you tell me about the Nutcracker in Oshkosh?
So the Nutcracker at the Castle, it is this annual event at the Payne Art Center and Gardens. It's really this seasonal site that you have to take in. It transforms the Payne into scenes from that classic ballet story. So the Payne is an ornate former mansion, and they fill it with all these sort of elaborate decorated Christmas trees, massive nutcrackers, and so much more. And you can either take a self-guided tour of the property, or I would highly, highly suggest joining one of their guided tours where ballet dancers bring the story to life. And the Nutcracker in the Castle, it's running through January 6th, so you have plenty of time. And I would also highly recommend when you're in Oshkosh to check out the Celebration of Lights. So this is a drive-through display that winds through the EAA grounds, and it features hundreds of thousands of lights. You're going to be wowed. There's tons of trees that are filled with lights, decorative scenes, animated displays, and so much more. That is open daily through New Year's Eve.
That's pretty cool. I've heard that's an absolute spectacle. So yeah, that's probably something great that people could check out too. And I'm the same way, like with the Nutcracker. I don't know much about ballet. I think it's beautiful, and I've seen the Nutcracker probably 5 or 6 times in my life. And even though I'm not a fan necessarily, or an avid fan, I should say, it's spectacular. I mean, it's just the music is perfect. The dancers, it's Christmas, it's Sugar Plum Fairies. I mean, you cannot do better than the Nutcracker at Christmas.
Yeah, there's just something warming about experiencing this sort of like cultural attraction in this really ornate setting with all the decorations around you. It kind of pulls you into the season, fills you with that sort of that celebratory feeling, and it's just wonderful.
Absolutely. All right, let's try to get through a couple more of these before we let you go. Let's bring it up here to Northeast Wisconsin, where you have a really cool event. There's a great event in Shawano, the Santa Parade. Can you tell us about that?
I'm not familiar with the Santa Parade. I know a ton of communities throughout throughout Wisconsin love to put on Christmas parades. One I am familiar with is in Sparta, Wisconsin. That's happening this weekend, actually, and they have a fantastic outdoor Christmas market there.
Oh, nice.
That is running on Fridays and Saturdays up until December 21st. So if you make it out this Friday, December 6th, you can also take in their parade and their lighting ceremony, and then shop 33 different huts and get these handmade gifts that all the artisans are bringing there.
Oh, you can't beat that. Like you said, it's December 6th at 6 p.m. All this information we're talking about, folks, is at the travelwisconsin.com website. Logan Rogie is my guest. Logan, so one more thing. Let's keep it Northeast Wisconsin, the Polar Express train ride. I don't know how much you know about that, but that I know is a local favorite here in Green Bay and the Fox Cities.
Yeah, one of the wonderful things about Wisconsin is we have all these different trains throughout the state that are offering rides typically throughout the summer, but then in December they kind of make a switch and they take on that Christmassy feel. So I know there's the East Troy electric train in southeastern Wisconsin. I'm not familiar with the one you'd mentioned, but typically it's this picturesque sort of cruise through the countryside. Occasionally, it's a snow-laden landscape, depending on what the weather's bringing that year. But, typically a meet and greet with Santa, maybe some hot food and drink, and really a memorable way to take in the season as a family.
Well said, my friend. As always, this was fun. Thank you for always checking in with us and keeping us posted about all the great things happening around the state and all the great work you guys are doing at Travel Wisconsin. Logan Rogie, thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Pete.
Anytime. All right, that's Logan Rogie. His name is just fun to say, don't you think, Conrad? Logan Rogie.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the first time I saw it, I thought it was Logan Rogue, and I was like, no, that's not working. Then he told me it was Rogie. I'm like, that's it. He crushed it. That's a great name. It's memorable.
It's just, like you said, it's just fun to say.
Yeah, and I'm stuck with Pete Schwaba, which is hard to say. And
Peach
forgettable.
cobbler.
Peach cobbler. Exactly. All right. Our old buddy Emerson Lehman is coming up next. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Progress, we have found a way to talk around the problem, building towers for side.
puzzle.
Matt Nair on air. This shouldn't be a thing.
Michigan man leads lawnmower chase. I'll stop, says the suspect. Instead, he reaches under the seat and pulls out a gun.
Shoots himself in the hand.
The deputy has his taser trained on him, and yes, he tased him.
I'm not advocating for crime, but boost something that goes faster than cop on foot.
Matt Nair on air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Todd Alba Show.
Pat Kreitlow, all your time in the media, television, radio, what have you, what was one or two of the oddest things that people were complaining about?
As a TV anchor, your hair.
You have some of the finest hair around. How could anybody criticize your hair?
Oh, well, because a consultant forced me to change it.
Were there focus groups?
I'm not aware of any focus groups other than the audience, which universally hated it. It was a bowl haircut.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app too? And if you miss a show or game, find it wherever you get your podcasts or on our website, civicmedia.us. It's easy to listen to your favorite local radio station anytime. Download the Civic Media app from the Apple or Google Play Store, then listen live.
And I hope you are. You're going to recognize, and you're watching on the stream, you're going to recognize this gentleman sitting next to me here. And you probably recognize him also from his day job. He doesn't just come on Nightlight and pull in the cash because he's popular from this show. He is the co-host of the Action 2 News this morning.
There's cash involved?
Yeah. Conrad has a per diem we give him. He's supposed to allocate that. But,
I see how that's been going, Conrad. All right.
You haven't gotten a taste yet?
Not yet.
All right. I just got a text. This is exciting. Our friend Kristen Lyerly, Dr. Kristen Lyerly, will be on the show Monday at 6:35. Conrad, please make a note of it. She took time off to run for office, so we couldn't have her on because then we would, this show isn't political to begin with. But
I actually interviewed her during that race. So
she's so great. Yeah. I'm excited. I love her as a guest and talking to her about medical stuff. She's an open book, and you can ask her pretty much anything, and she is painfully honest.
There you go, Conrad. Write it down. Don't forget.
Monday at 6:35, Dr. Kristen Lyerly will be here. That'll be fun. But right now, having some serious issues. What do you do when you're a news anchor and you got that frog in your throat?
Oh, man. It's so difficult because the 4:30 half hour, we kind of joke that's our warm-up for our voices, too. Like, I'll be singing in the car on the way to work to try and get it going. But, yeah, you're still clearing the throat. That first half hour is tough. But after that, it kind of settles itself a little bit.
Have you ever had like a coughing fit or you've got a tickle in your throat?
Oh, yeah.
You can't, what do you do? Do you suck it up and power through it?
So
do you just come clean?
My trick has been, what are you going to do, right? Like people know we're human beings. Right. My trick, if I have a real sore, scratchy throat or something, I have a bottle of honey in my desk at work. And my producers will look at me kind of weird sometimes because I'll just take the bottle and just a shot of honey right before I go out on the right out to the desk, and it usually soothes it enough that you can kind of power through it. But I mean, then every time we toss to some sound or something, you're clearing your throat. And
why do you think a producer would not look twice or think that's strange? Because that's
it could just be me judging myself and just assuming that they're judging me, and really they're not. That's very possible. But hey, it works, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
You've never had that where you just can't stop coughing and your eyes are watering, like an Albert Brooks moment in broadcast news?
Think so?
Yeah.
If I feel like I would remember that, right? If I had, I don't think I've had it to the point where I needed to step out of the studio, knock on the wood, the fake wood that's in this table, because I mean, I'm sure there's a time for everything, but it hasn't happened yet.
You'd be on one of those blooper reels they send out with newscasts, which are so funny. Do you ever watch those?
I just found a new Instagram page that is dedicated to news bloopers. And
oh God, I could lose myself.
I have not ended up on any of them that I know of yet. If someone has seen me on one, please send it my way because I want to see it. You don't want to end up on there, but you're also kind of like, oh.
That kind of makes you more lovable, though.
Hey, I made it. All
Yeah.
right. Like you're going to have a moment at some point, so it'd be funny to have other people laugh at you too.
I saw this blooper. It was a newscaster in Oregon, and he has a lot of these. Like, he's kind of a funny guy. I
Sure.
think he's probably from the 80s or 90s, and he said 2 cows were on the loose, Black and Gus, and it was Black Angus, but he didn't catch that, and his partner starts cracking up, and he couldn't even catch his breath. He was laughing so hard. He's like, "Oh no, did I say Black and Gus?" Like,
There's
kinda in the
so
middle of it.
many. There's so many moments that I wish people at home watching could see what's going on in the studio. Like, we're a fun team. It's fun. We have fun on the air, but off the air too, and it's just commercial breaks and things like that. It's especially when you're up that early in the morning, right? You got to keep it loose. You got to keep it fun, and that definitely happens.
It's funny that you say that because there are days my house is empty now during the day, and that's typically where I prep. And I won't talk to people. There are days, usually I have a phone call or two for work or whatever, but sometimes there are days I don't talk to anybody. And then I get here and I'm like, my voice just doesn't work. I can't imagine getting up when you do at the crack of even before dawn.
Yeah. Dark and early.
You
we
probably
like to
have
say.
to sing or something to get your voice ready.
Oh
right?
yeah, you got to pump yourself up a little bit. Little Natasha Bedingfield Unwritten. That's on my pre-show playlist.
Conrad, let's find that song. I want to hear what Emerson is
get
listening to.
it bumping.
I need some
I
inspiration.
probably won't be singing it, but it'll inspire you a little bit. Yeah,
Kind of
it's a fun, it's an upbeat little get you going in the
that's
morning.
great.
Yeah,
You know, let's play for him too. The Jacksons. Have you ever heard the song "Can You Feel It"?
I feel like probably.
Okay.
And I just don't know the title of it, but
Let's find that for a
there's
break.
good chance.
That'll get you going in the morning.
All right.
You'll do like a half marathon before you hit the studio.
I'll add it to the playlist for tomorrow.
So, all right, let's talk. I was blown away. The last time you were here, you told me, you're a young guy. You've only been at WBAY a year now, right? Was
a
it
year
December?
next week.
Wow.
Next
That's pretty
Wednesday,
exciting.
1 year.
That's great.
So
And
you're celebrating a year this week. Congratulations.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. And I
Thank you.
a week after your 1 year is my 1 year. So
Well, you've had something to do with my success because you've been on this. This is like your 4th or 5th time on the show. I haven't been invited on the morning show. Conrad, make a note of that.
listen. We can see what we can do about
I'm half
that.
kidding. I got to drop a few more pounds before I do
It's
TV.
been a pleasure though to be coming back. I'm just glad that Conrad keeps texting me saying to come back, especially this week. I know I was supposed to be in tomorrow, but you guys even adjusted to my schedule and said, "Yeah, come in on Thursday." So I appreciate that. It's
fun.
always special.
So so last year, thank you, by the way, but you won an Emmy.
Yeah,
which is
2
crazy.
years ago, 2022. Yeah, it's been 2 years now.
Right,
so-
when you were in Milwaukee.
When I was in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. So you kind of went there a little bit last time you were here. And I think you showed a video of when you found out or something like that. But
Yeah, talked about it. Yep.
how is that kind of a drag? Like, is it like winning a Super Bowl for a head coach where it's like, well, I've always got the ring, so I'm in the greatness, and then you don't win another one? Or do you expect to win now every year? I'm sure you want to win every year.
I think it's been kind of tricky because when I won back in 2022, that was the first time I'd ever had anything submitted, had been nominated, and I won right away.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, oh, this is awesome. And then I went back and I was nominated again in 2023, didn't win. And then this past season, 2024, 2023, 2024, it kind of splits between the 2 years. Had 2 nominations, one with some folks from CBS 58 and then one for our morning show. Unfortunately, we didn't win either category. So you're bummed. It stings a little bit, but it's always just so cool to be in that room. You get throw your tux on and you're getting all your photos and they have like the red carpet thing. And I mean, I'm in a room with some of my idols that I grew up watching and you're nominated alongside them. And that's a pretty special feeling. So that was great in itself.
Fantastic. And I'm sure even the nomination, you're like, all right, I didn't make a wrong career choice. I'm doing something right.
I'm doing okay.
That's got to feel great.
We're doing all right.
All right. Emerson Lehman is here. He is the co-host of the Action 2 News this morning, and we'll have more with Emerson. He's hanging out with us tonight like he does so often. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Talk to me. Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Matinee on Air.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Whiteout conditions, slick and slippery roads, and treacherous travel met motorists across the state yesterday when snow squall warnings were issued in several areas. A Green Bay woman, Rebecca Rockhill, was driving from Milwaukee home when the storms hit.
It was probably about the worst I've ever driven in 53 years.
Law enforcement across the region reported numerous crashes, vehicles off the road, and other hazards. Wisconsin DOT recommends checking 511.wi.gov to get road condition updates whenever weather strikes. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin is once again calling on Congress to pass a new farm bill before the end of the year. Senator Baldwin criticized lawmakers for continuing to kick the can down the road on passing the bill, which includes numerous resources for farmers and helps set the framework for programs like SNAP and nutrition initiatives. A new farm bill is supposed to be passed every 5 years, but a new one hasn't been passed since 2018. The last farm bill has been extended for an extra year. Now lawmakers must pass a new one or extend it again. The state capitol Christmas tree has been chosen. Brittany Merlot reports.
You'll see a little piece of the Northwoods if you're headed to Madison this holiday season, as one Rhinelander family's tree was chosen to be the official Christmas tree for the Wisconsin State Capitol building. Last year, a different tree from Rhinelander was picked up to light up the Capitol, and that alone got one local couple fired up to offer their large balsam fir tree right from their own backyard. They reached out to the Capitol's Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds and made it happen. A tree lighting ceremony will be held at the state capitol on December 5th, and you can bet the Burks who own the tree will be there.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. If it's huge blockbusters or holiday films you're looking for in theaters this weekend, you will have to see films that are already released. But if you're not ready to throw yourself into the world of holiday films just yet, or are in the mood for some offbeat, quirky flicks, this could be your weekend. Comedy sci-fi Y2K rolls out Friday and takes us back to 1999 when the world was in a panic over what would happen when the clock struck midnight on New Year's Eve. The film follows two high schoolers who crash a New Year's Eve party and end up fighting for their lives. If you're in the mood for a Lou Diamond Phillips movie, and who isn't, check out the horror film Werewolves, which also stars Frank Grillo, but has not yet been reviewed, so beware. If you're looking for a comedy horror, the film Night opens this week in wide release as well. The film stars Amy Adams playing a mom who takes time off work to stay home with her kids, but finds herself turning into a dog. I did not misspeak. Despite the offbeat storyline, the film is pulling a 63 on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's go to the movies. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, a low in the mid-teens. And a mix of sun and clouds for your Friday afternoon, a high in the mid-20s. Warmer for the weekend and a partly sunny sky, high in the upper 30s for Saturday, mid-40s for Sunday. Currently 21 degrees.
Civic Media, Wisconsin's source for real news and great conversation, offers podcasts of all of our daily shows online and on demand. Simply go to civicmedia.us, click on daily shows, and choose the podcast that you want to download. Shows are updated daily, or you can save them and listen all at once. Our podcasts are sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. You are an organ donor, right? Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Learn more at heroicdeed.com.
The holidays are here, and it's nearly time to pick a present from our grown-up gift list with our Civic Media statewide Text to Win contest. Listen while you work for the keywords to text for your chance to win $100 cash, an overnight vacation at Chula Vista Resort, and be entered to win one of our grand prizes, a robot vacuum, new luggage, humidifier, espresso machine, and more on our grown-up gift list at civicmedia.us. Just download the Civic Media app and listen weekdays at 7, 11, 1, and 4 for your chance to win starting Monday morning. John Mino and Jim Schmidt.
On TGI Friday, we'll welcome Mark Houston from Balance Sports.
That's another good you up, right?
100%.
Yeah. I was telling Conrad when I work, I'm going to go out. Tonight is one of my workout nights. I just do it like a 30-minute weight routine once a week. It's pretty
Arms,
harmless.
legs?
Arms, a little bit of legs, but I have a knee issue. So I mostly
always
do
the knee.
arms. Yeah, I want to be one of those guys that's like really huge on top with like stick legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the look I'm going for.
Sure.
I think chicks dig that. But tonight is my night, and I'm like that guy. Since I only work out for like 30 minutes in a gym a week, like I'll walk at home, but I'll just do my 30-minute resistance training. I go in there from here, and I'm wearing my like radio clothes. I'm not going to go put spandex on.
Set
and
the
a tank
trend, man.
top.
Make your own trend.
Right. But I feel like I'm like one of those guys on the playground that wore hard shoes and jeans in a pickup basketball game. Like everyone's looking at me like because they take it
The
so
skater
seriously.
shoes that are just flopping around on the concrete. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you wear to the gym? Do you go to the gym?
Yeah, I mean, on occasion, I go to play pickleball, and I'm in my pickleball attire.
Dude, let's dive into that.
That you kind of teed that up right there. Yeah,
I know. I
served it up.
accidentally teed you up there. All right, what is new? I told you before when you got here. You told me I should look into the pickleball event at the Marinette Community Rec Center, and I did, and then I forgot about it. And I saw your post on social media, and I wanted to go there and get sound bites, maybe play pickleball, but I don't think I would be that competitive at pickleball.
You said that you were going to come watch.
Yeah,
I won Friday night.
Nice.
Shout out to my partner, Carolyn Flood. We won the Friday night tournament, and then I played with her brother, Chris, on Saturday. We did not win.
Okay.
That's all right, though.
So Carolyn's better than Chris. That's what I'm taking away.
You said that. I'm not going to. I'm going to plead the fifth because I'm playing with both of them this weekend again.
Oh.
But, yeah, Marinette was a great tournament. They raised a bunch of money for breast cancer awareness, which was the big mission this year. It was the Pink Out tournament. So they raised... I forgot how much money it was that they posted about it, but awesome fundraiser. That was a great time. Again, I played Friday, Saturday, and then my parents played on Sunday in their first tournament.
In Marinette?
In Marinette, their first tournament ever. They drove up, stayed with me Saturday night. I drove them up, or I drove up with them on Sunday, and they played their first tournament. And
Mr. and Mrs. Lehman were a
Mr.
team.
and Mrs. Lehman
Wow,
were teamed
nice.
up. I don't think they needed marriage counseling afterwards. There were some tense moments, but they played great. They had fun, and they are signed up. I got the whole family were signed up for a tournament in Lake Geneva in like 2 weeks. So,
oh, nice.
My sister and brother-in-law, my little cousins, my aunt and uncle, everybody's all signed up. They're all going down to play. It's a family affair, man.
That's fun. Now, all right, people make jokes. And when I say people, I mean me, about pickleball because it has the identity of being kind of an older person's sport.
We're trying to break that, but yes,
it's
it does.
not any. You're right. A lot of young people are playing it, but when you played in Marinette and advanced, and when you lost, was that to an older duo or
no? That was so in the bracket that I was in for both the winning one and the one we lost. It was for the most part, I would say people around my age, maybe.
Okay. Oh wow.
Between I don't know, like 20s to 40s was probably the average range. There's a couple that may have been in their 50s, but like in shape 50s.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, like as you're kind of hitting more of these advanced levels now, it's younger. I don't want to say more athletic people, but just people that are faster on the court. They can just kind of chase balls down, and there's still some. I say this every time I'm asked about it. There are some 60-plus-year-olds that will run me all around a court because they're so smart and they know how to work the angles and work. Yeah, exactly. Like it, and that's what I love so much about pickleball is you could be an 8-year-old playing against a 70-year-old, and it's going to be a competitive, fun match. And you're meeting new people. You're having conversations, having fun, getting some exercise in, and just enjoying kind of scratching that competitive itch against whoever wants to play.
You just reminded me of a story. I may have told you this last time you were here because it cracks me up. Supposedly, Drew Brees, who's a great athlete,
big pickleball guy,
but a big tennis guy when he was younger.
Okay.
And there was a story going around the internet, this maybe 2 years ago, that he beat, it was either Andy Murray or Andy Roddick. When they were young, he beat him at tennis. And then the story came out, Drew Brees was 15 and the other guy was like 8. So it doesn't
Those
really
are
count.
small details. Right. Really small details.
So it gets heated. It's a sport like anything. Like you said, you joked, but your parents, if it gets heated between teammates, it might be like, oh, this guy's not carrying his weight or whatever. What do you do if some 70-year-old guy is so ticked off he wants to throw down with you? What's going to happen?
bring it on, man.
Yeah, okay.
You got to stand your ground.
But you're like a public personality. You're an
Not on the
Emmy-winning
pickleball court. Not on the pickleball court. Pickleball Emerson and
I have
news
a whole new
anchor
respect
Emerson
for
are
you.
two different people. I will say that. And sometimes they do mesh together, and it's fine. Like, people will come up, oh, are you that guy? Like, yeah, how you doing? Like, good to see you. Thanks for watching, kind of thing. But like, I don't know. It's fun to just go play pickleball and
just be a guy.
just play pickleball, right?
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy that. And there's like some of the folks I play with, they joke around, oh, what's up, prompter boy? Or, things like they like to,
the trash
they
talk?
joke around. That's the trash talk,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. But nah, man, it's great. It's especially like the community up here in Green Bay and the Fox Valley, like the pickleball scene up here. It's just only continuing to grow. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
indoor facilities opening up right now. It's growing in the outdoor season as well in the summer months. Just so many people are experiencing it for the first time and being like, oh, this is awesome. This is what everyone's been doing for the past 5 years. Like, why have I waited this long? So
have you had the opportunity to do anything about pickleball in your anchor job in the morning show at WBAY?
I did. I did a story I think it was back in September now, which is a couple months ago already. Time's flying by. But I went around and showcased a few of the different indoor facilities, Pickle and Bags down in Oshkosh, Next Level Pickleball in Little Chute, and then the Pickleball Connection in Manitowoc. We went and just highlighted those different places and kind of showed people, hey, if you're enjoying playing outside in the summertime, you need something to do in the winter too. There's a bunch of places to go check out. So
how many people do recognize you? Because I would say, maybe even more so in a community this size, news people or on-air talent like you or Rachel Manick or whomever are very recognizable. I think I don't know if people in huge cities look to local news as much as they used to. You guys are like really celebrities. So when you go out and you're playing pickleball, and you made a joke about trash talking, but like the way you're dressed right now, and no one would go, oh, that's the guy from W. You're like a regular dude.
Yeah.
But how often does that happen?
I mean, I'm always a regular dude.
Yeah.
I think it's funny you mentioned the big city thing. So like down in Milwaukee, it might have happened 2 or 3 times in the 2 years I was down there. Unless like I went like back home to Kewaskum, then it's a little bit more because more people are kind of aware of what you're doing from the small hometown. But one of my friends in Milwaukee who had worked up here in Green Bay said, you're going to realize that people watch very closely when you move
Okay,
up
so
here.
I'm not crazy.
No,
Yeah.
no. And it happens, like I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh yeah, every time I walk out the door, someone's like, hey, I saw you. Like,
I
no,
can't even go to the bathroom
That's
an
not
hour
what's
away.
happening.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But I mean, like the grocery store, it'll happen a bit. I think sometimes people, they look at you and I can tell that they're like, how do I know you?
Yeah.
Or I know you.
Do we go to
and
high school together?
I'm not going to say anything. And it's usually older people, folks a few years older than I am.
Yeah, right.
But I love it when people actually say something because it's kind of uncomfortable when they're just staring at you from a small
sure.
distance. I'd rather
Maybe
someone
creepy too. You don't know what's going to happen.
I'd rather have someone say, hey, I love watching, or hey,
Yeah.
like you're that guy. I'm like, yep, that's me. I'll have a conversation. It's a good time.
What's the my guest is Emerson Lehman. He is the co-host, one of the co-hosts of the Action 2 News this morning here in Green Bay on WBAY, and he's a frequent nightlight guest here. We love having him in studio. What is the best part about your job? Like, you're part of the community, you're recognizable. There is like sort of a fame element or a recognizability element, but people probably don't understand how much work goes into what you do. They just see you on TV, getting to be out front and center, but it's a hard job. What's the best part about the job, and what's the worst part?
Oh man, the worst part has to be the hours.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who loves morning news. It's tough when, I'll just use pickleball as an example because we've been talking about it. You know, I play in a group on Tuesday nights. Well, they usually play until 9 o'clock, and then there's a bar connected to the facility. Like, oh, we're gonna go have a drink, or we're gonna go hang out for a bit. Come on up, and I'm like, I'm ditching out at 8 o'clock because I got to go home and shower up and go to bed so I can be up at 2:30 a.m. the next day. So like that part is tough. I love though having the ability to, like you said, kind of be recognizable, but I think just for people to trust myself, my team, to be welcomed into their homes every morning.
Right.
I mean, you can turn on the TV and you've got however many stations to choose from. You can not watch the news at all. But people make the conscious effort to turn on Channel 2 and say, I trust Tammy, I trust Emerson, I trust Steve, I trust Aisha, I trust the whole team Maria. I trust them to provide me with the news, what I need to know every morning, and I enjoy listening to them. Like, folks will comment on our Facebook saying, you feel like part of the family because you're with us every morning. I'm drinking my coffee with you every morning. And I think sometimes when you, like you said, it's a lot of work. I mean, some people think we're on air from 4:30 to 7:30 and that's it. No, the show gets prepped, and then we're working on other stories afterwards. We're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't see. And I think when you kind of get lost in all that, it can be tough to forget sometimes. Like, it's a pretty cool job to be on TV every morning and have people waking up and trusting you to
wanting to hear what you have to say,
wanting to hear what you have to say and what information you have to provide. It's a true honor, and it's something you can't take for granted.
You just said the name Maria. What is her last name?
Parmigiani.
Yes. Okay. So I reached out to her. I think I told you this last time.
The newest member of our team.
Yeah, several months. Traffic, right?
Yeah, she's been here for a while now, but yeah, she's the newest member.
She was on, I don't know if she was on with Mino and the Mayor.
Yep.
Or I saw her and I thought, she'd be a great guest. So I reached out to her. She said, yes, I'm still living in Fond du Lac, but I'd love to be on the show when I move to Green Bay because I get up so early. I didn't know her. I don't think we had maybe 2 mutual friends, but since we became Facebook friends, everything she posts pops up. I don't know what algorithm she's working with, but she is a master at social media.
She is. She's great at social media. She's great at providing the traffic updates. I mean, she had a busy day today and yesterday with all the weather and stuff that was going on, and she's been a great addition to the team for sure.
That's great. And then you got Tammy, who's been there a long time. You have a nice, well-rounded group there. That's fantastic. Let's talk about, what was I going to ask you? Oh, Conrad, we wanted to get Emerson's take on its national, what is it again? Okay.
Bathtub Party Day?
Yeah, you're a news guy. Tell us what to make of this. It's National Bathtub Party Day.
Like hanging out with the rubber duckies, or?
That's if you want to put an innocent take on it. Yeah, probably something like that.
I don't have a bathtub, so I don't know what this is. I have a shower.
You ever just sit on the floor of your shower and pretend it's a bathtub?
No, I can't say I have.
Yeah, me neither. It's
also
also
very specific, though.
So I don't know what to make of that. Like that sounds like a 70s.
There's
swanky.
So many national days. Like,
oh, I know.
Yesterday was National Cookie Day.
Oh, I like that.
We're big fans.
I'm a fan, absolutely, especially this time of year. Do you have a favorite Christmas cookie?
I don't like frosting.
Oh,
so my aunt, when we will decorate Christmas cookies, because I still like decorating them, show my artistic side. But I'm just not going to eat any of them. But she'll always I love the shortbread, just sugar cookies, but without frosting. So she'll cook some sprinkles into them, so I still have the festiveness, and so I appreciate that. And then my mom makes this it's like a pie cookie that's jelly and pie crust, and I don't know what it's called, but that's also delicious.
The jelly cookie.
Yeah, that sounds.
I'm not a fan. I think fruit in cakes or cookies, it just doesn't work for me.
I would usually agree, but I think there's so much. If there's more of the pie crust stuff and just a little bit of that jelly, I'm okay with it. I'm just not a huge sweets person.
Oh, that's good.
For my birthday, I'm now 28 years old.
Yeah,
and the team, they knew Tammy had been emailing with my mother, and she brought in a sausage platter instead of the cupcakes and stuff. Because they brought cupcakes too, but they brought in a sausage cheese platter because they know I don't like sweets. So
wherever you work, it's like they're trying to kill you. My wife is a teacher. She's like, it's donuts. And it's like, what are they doing to us? They pay for our health care. It's crazy. All right, Emerson Lehman is here. We'll have a few minutes left with Emerson when we come back. Maybe we'll touch on the Packers and Lions because realistically, if you were going to go watch the game, you'd already be watching it. So if you're talking about it, I don't think I'm going to chase listeners or viewers away for that matter. So stick with us, folks. Emerson's hanging out with us. We got a few more minutes. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
A teardrop start, and it breaks my heart. When a teardrop falls, I wanna cry, cry, cry alone.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW. The Maggie Dawn Show.
We know what happened the last time Trump applied this ham-fisted tariff policy. He had to write a $12 billion check to farmers because he crushed so many of our agricultural exports and drove up the cost of single-family homes because the cost of lumber from places like Canada went way the frick up. Everything got more expensive.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
From the Lake Shore to Lake Winnebago.
Door to Fond du Lac counties.
Northeast Wisconsin is special for many different reasons. I'm Lisa Hale.
And I'm Terry Barr. Family and fun.
Safe communities and friends. We're featuring all of it as part of New Wisco Weekend, a news magazine show just for you, and highlighting what makes the Fox Valley and Green Bay area a great place to live. Join us.
New Wisco Weekend, Saturday mornings at 8, Sundays at 11 on WGBW and WISS and the Civic Media app.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game,
it's like I'm at a high school dance.
I can go with that.
Clifton Waits. Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
Jackson 5. Great stuff. Did you find Emerson's song?
Oh, I thought you were talking about that one.
Oh, no. I wanted to hear. What was that song? I want to hear that.
Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield.
Okay.
We talked about Sydney Sweeney one time.
Did we?
Yeah,
I'm not
that was
surprised.
that was
one of my exes
in her movie with Glenn Powell.
Oh yeah, my daughter saw it like 8 times and I can't remember the name.
I'm actually blanking on the name right now too.
This is not us. We don't like each other. Something like that.
Anyone but you.
Anyone but you.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was like the soundtrack for that movie, and I feel like it just reignited that song.
So did you see the? Oh, okay. So that movie, or that was the song before the movie, but then
then that movie kind of brought it back.
I feel like some of those rom-coms in the theaters, the bigger budget ones, are no different than Lifetime movies, but it comes down to who the actor is and maybe the tone that the director sets. But we did something, Emerson. We were talking about Christmas movies during the break, and you said your family likes the Lifetime Christmas movies. You make fun of them.
Yeah. I like Hallmark Christmas movies. My father, I'm sure the DVR in my parents' house right now is probably hitting the 99% full, and they're going to have to go through and delete some stuff because he could have seen it 6 times already, but he's still going to record it to watch it again. My sister's right there with him. It's a sickness, I think.
So here's one I found online.
Okay.
I can't even share it on the air, but I saw that last year. Somebody put it on social media, and I could not stop laughing. So we made our own parody.
I'm excited about this.
Of a Christmas trailer from the LifeMark Network. Conrad, let's play that for our guest, Emerson. LifeMark's very melancholy Christmas continues with this week's film, The Christmas Shoes.
The holiday spirit is alive in the little town of Port Denmark, Wisconsin. The picturesque streets are lined with Christmas lights and good cheer. And Christmas cheer is teeming in the people of Port Denmark and in a very special pair of shoes.
Honey, these shoes were handed down from your great-grandmother to your grandmother to me, and now I'm giving them to you. We've all met the love of our lives while we were wearing the Christmas shoes. And if you're wearing them when you're proposed to, your marriage will be full of love and romance and prosperity. You and Derek are so good together. If Derek doesn't propose, I don't want it to be because you weren't wearing the Christmas shoes. Oh, sweetheart, he would be a fool to let you go. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Mom.
This Christmas, feel the love of the Christmas shoes playing all month long on LifeMark.
Conrad with a cameo in there.
Now, we don't know if Derek proposed to Conrad, but that's
Are you
just
wearing the Christmas shoes right now?
The sad story about them, they don't fit.
Oh,
darn the luck.
They're heels.
Devastation. Devastating.
Conrad's Christmas shoes would be high tops. That would be, So anyway, all right, we thought you would like that. So Emerson, what do you have a favorite Christmas movie or your go-to every year?
Oh, the Santa Claus trilogy.
Oh, nice.
Big fan of Tim Allen, like in that series. I really enjoy that. I used to love when they would have the 25 days until Christmas, like all of those animated shorts on when ABC Family used to be its own network, and they would have the like the
marathon or whatever.
Yeah, like they'd have Rudolph and the Santa Claus is coming to town, and just all those animated from like the 50s and 60s, like those.
So great.
I still enjoy seeing those when they come on. And then there's a Disney one where like there's 3 different Disney Mickey Mouse stories all in one. I think it's like Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas or something.
Yeah,
that one too. Like the nostalgia with that. If
because you were little,
I was little and I grew up watching that, and it's just like. Everybody loves
all,
Disney,
locked
right?
into the place during Christmas, and they have to.
And like there's one. Mickey is trying to he has to sell his harmonica, and Minnie sells her little necklace thing, and then they're like it's just like it's cool, man. And then
That's so
one
great.
like Max and Goofy are going through a mall on skateboard. I love that movie so much.
That's great. And the Santa Claus trilogy is huge, too. We got a couple texts we want to get here to here before we get out of here. Christine from the 414 says, Hallmark movies are awful.
Christine, I'm not arguing with you.
So sanitized and phony, but there were a couple I actually liked, especially the one with Doris Roberts as Mrs. Miracle. But no, I prefer better quality without sanitation. Chris Casper heard us talking about the Packers and the Lions and says, is there a way they both can lose?
It could be a tie, I guess.
Skull. He's a Viking fan. He's a crack engineer
Go
here.
Pack, go.
He's not an engineer of crack. He's a crack engineer. There's a big difference.
Yeah,
And
there's definitely
a tech genius here at Civic Media. On tomorrow night's show, ladies and gentlemen, it is a bar band Friday night. So Terry Barr will be here with new music and great conversation. We've got Mike Clemens at 6:35, and then Lisa O'Hearn will be here from the Sister Bay Historical Society to talk about an event that's happening there leading up to Christmas. So that'll be a fun show, too. What else, man? Tell us another thing. Tell us another Emerson thing before we get out of here. Are you racing? Do you race in the winter?
No.
Is it possible?
I mean, it's possible. There's some snowmobile races that'll be taking place. I used to, when I was a child, I was a snowmobile racer. Now I just do the nice trail riding and whatnot. But there's the song for you. It's kicking in here. Hey, I want to give a shout out though.
Yeah.
We're short one viewer tonight. A good friend of mine, Bob Schneider, passed away last month.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He was always watching. He'd always be listening to this.
Oh,
so we're short one tonight. Shout out to Bobby. He would have been listening along. I know he is upstairs, but congratulations to you guys, man. 1 year.
Thank
This
you.
is cool.
Well said on behalf of your friend, and thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. You're a huge part of it. We love having you here.
Let's rock year 2, man.
Absolutely. Predictions, quick, guys. Packers, Lions.
34-31 Pack.
28-21 Pack.
Do you see a score?
It is 7-0 Lions right now.
He's looking right at the computer.
That's right. Well, if people haven't twitched over yet, they're probably still listening. So thank you for sticking with us. We'll be back tomorrow night to do this all again. Thank you to Emerson Lehman. Thank you to Logan Rogie. And thank you to Faith Flynn. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Good night, Wisconsin.
Yeah.